Hello, I'm Mrs. Charity. Welcome to the Glorious Heritage Overview of Catholic Church History. Discover the amazing story of the Church together as a family as you color and paste your way through the timeline and printables, which you can find on our website. And now let's move into our topic for today.
Hello, I'm Mr. Charity, and welcome to the Glorious Heritage Catholic History video series. Today's topic is number 39, Pope St. Gregory the Great. If you look on your timeline and summary question sheets, you'll notice that we are in the orange time period, which we have called Establishment. If you don't have a timeline or summary question sheets, you can find them on our website. Make sure to color, cut out, and paste today's circle to your timeline. In our last video, we discussed the fall of Rome in 476. That was a pivotal event. Church history before the fall of Rome is different than church history after the fall of Rome. This video is a start of a new time for the Catholic Church, a time of uncertainty and danger. At such a critical time, God gave the Church a pope of unmatched holiness, knowledge, and ability. Of course, I am talking about Pope St. Gregory the Great. He was the pope between 590 and 604 AD. Because the Western Roman Empire had fallen in 476, the Pope and the Church in Rome didn't have an emperor or a Roman army to protect them anymore. The Byzantine Empire, which is sometimes also called the Eastern Roman Empire, tried to protect the Catholics in Italy, but they were not strong enough. It was hard for the Byzantines to send enough armies from Constantinople all the way to Rome. There were just too many barbarian tribes in the West. One barbarian tribe in particular gave the Pope the most difficulty. This tribe was called the Lombards, and they were not the friendliest of the tribes, that's for sure. Even though Pope St. Gregory the Great was the head of the Church, he didn't have an army of soldiers to command. Because of this, he and the Church were defenseless against those Lombards. So Pope St. Gregory the Great paid the Lombards money in order to convince them not to attack the Church. And this plan worked. Even though it cost the Pope a lot of money, he did manage to keep the Lombards from attacking them. When Pope St. Gregory the Great was elected to be the Pope, he was a little bit reluctant at first. He wanted to be a monk and live in a monastery. But when he realized it was God's will, he accepted. Because he loved the life of a monk, he brought many positive qualities of monks to his role as the Pope. Pope St. Gregory the Great invented a certain kind of chanting for use in church liturgies and prayer. In fact, you probably have heard this kind of chanting before, and you might already know its name. Have you ever heard of Gregorian chant? This is named after Pope St. Gregory the Great. Even though he invented it, most of the Gregorian chants were written after he died. Still, the credit goes to him for inventing it. Pope St. Gregory the Great was also very interested in spreading the Catholic faith to all the different barbarian tribes. There's a famous story about him walking through the markets of Rome. He saw a little boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, which is very unusual in the city of Rome. Everyone there has brown hair and brown eyes. This little boy was a barbarian from the tribe of the Angles. The Angles came from England, and by the way, England got its name from the Angles. Pope St. Gregory the Great said, "These are not Angles, they are angels." And then he decided that he must send missionaries to England to convert them. St. Augustine of Canterbury, who brought the Catholic faith to England. Pope St. Gregory died in 604 and was canonized soon afterwards. He is one of the four great Latin church fathers, among St. Augustine, St. Jerome, and St. Ambrose. Okay, here's Mrs. Charity. She will tell you about how Pope St. Gregory the Great repaired the aqueducts in Rome.
Do you remember in our last video about the fall of Rome, I told you about the Roman aqueducts? Remember that they are large stone structures that brought fresh water to the city of Rome, which is very important. A city like Rome, full of people, needs lots of fresh water. After the fall of Rome in 476, the aqueducts started to fall apart since the barbarians didn't take care of them. But Pope St. Gregory the Great realized how important it was to have fresh, clean water instead of the Romans drinking out of the dirty Tiber River. So Pope St. Gregory the Great paid for the rebuilding of the aqueducts once again. He wasn't just concerned about the souls of his subjects, but also wanted them to be strong and healthy.
Welcome back. I have a true story for you today about Pope St. Gregory the Great, a plague, a painting of Our Lady, and an angel with a bloody sword. Does that sound interesting to you? Well, let me tell it. In the year 590, Rome was afflicted by a dreadful plague that claimed countless lives. The people were terrified and hopeless as they saw their loved ones fall ill and die. The plague was a chastisement from God for the sins of the people who had forgotten God and His commandments. The newly elected Pope, St. Gregory the Great, was a man of great holiness and humility. He cared deeply for his flock. He urged them to repent of their sins and to beg God's mercy. He also organized a solemn procession through the city in which he carried a painting of the Blessed Virgin, the Mother of God, and the refuge of sinners. The painting was believed to be made by St. Luke the Evangelist, who had seen and painted the true face of her. This painting was a precious treasure of the Church and a powerful sign of Our Lady's love and protection. The procession was a moving spectacle of faith and devotion, and thousands of people joined the Pope, singing and praying with tears and fervor. They implored Our Lady to intercede for them and to stop the plague. As the procession moved through the streets, a miracle happened. The plague began to subside, and the air became fresh and clean. The people felt a new hope and joy in their hearts. When the procession reached the Vatican, they witnessed a glorious vision. On top of a building called Hadrian's Tomb, which is now called Castle St. Angelo, they saw St. Michael the Archangel, the leader of the heavenly army and the defender of the Church. He was holding a bloody sword, and he put the sword back in its sheath, indicating that the plague was over and that God had forgiven the people. They rejoiced and thanked God and Our Lady for their deliverance, and Pope St. Gregory the Great composed a hymn of praise for this day called the Regina Caeli, which is still sung by the Church during Easter time. Well, that is all for today. I hope you liked the story about Pope St. Gregory the Great. Join us in our next video in which we will discuss the anchorites. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today. Visit our website www.gloriousheritagecartoons.com, where you can find more educational supplements, cartoons, books, and printables. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to get notified of our latest updates and videos. And if you like our work and want to support us, you can make a donation on our website or on Patreon. We really appreciate your generosity and kindness. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.